The defense shined as Marcus Simeon and Matt Chapman excelled in the infield. The middle of the order delivered with some clutch hits. The Mariners provided the drama. But in the end, Blake trying to nail down the win in a playoff-type game in the East Bay. Tonight, it only gets better as two hard-throwing starters go toe-to-toe. Seattle's ace James Paxton faces off against Mike Fiers in what should be a solid matchup on the mound. Game 2, A's Mariners, and it starts right now. More pennant race baseball tonight from the Coliseum. The A's in second place, just 2 games behind the Astros. The Mariners 4.5 back, and tonight it is the A's and the Mariners. Game 2 of their 3-game series. James Paxton, the big lefty, will take them on for the Mariners, and for the Athletics, it'll be Mike Fiers. A's and Mariners coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball along with Dallas Braden. I'm Glenn Kuiper. You saw Mike Fiers. It'll be his second start for the A's. His first one was pretty darn good, but Dallas, even going back a while, Mike Fiers has been great for about a month and a half now.
Well, he's throwing the ball well all year, frankly. He was throwing the ball very well for Detroit. Obviously, had become somebody a lot of teams had identified as somebody who could help down the stretch, make that push. Pitched very well in his debut here at home against the Dodgers. 5 1/3 innings, 8 punch-outs, 0 free passes. So looking for a little bit more of that out of Mike the Flame Fiers tonight.
All right, and for the Mariners, it's their ace, James Paxton. He's a big left-hander. When healthy, he's terrific. The A's saw that earlier this year.
Oh, no doubt. The Big Maple, the man who was blessed by the American bald eagle earlier this year, came and sat upon his shoulder. And after that, all James Paxton has done is slice and dice his way through the AL. You see that 3.63 ERA. This man, you're going to get a lot of fastballs, a big curveball from the lefty, the Big Maple, James Paxton.
And how about the side story tonight? Robinson, back in the Mariners lineup. He has finished serving his 80-game suspension. So he's going to play first base tonight. Robinson Cano at first base. Game 2 of the series coming up. We'll have lineups and first pitch right after this.
Sound amazing.
Hello. Hey, hello. Hey, Delaire, that group of people from today is in section 108. They're all keeping score.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you. A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Toyota. A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the for a limited time.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. A's taking the field behind their starting pitcher tonight, making his second start with the Athletics, Mike Fiers. Here's the game time weather for tonight, presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Another nice night, cooling off a little bit, 63 degrees. With the Seattle Mariners in town, and they have a new addition. It's Robinson Cano, so they're happy to have him back in the lineup, and I would imagine he's happy to be back. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Seattle Mariners, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Mitch Haniger is in right field. There's Robinson Cano. He's going to play first base for the first time in his career, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Segura's at short. Cruz is the DH. Then it's Span, Seager, Zanito, Maben, and D. Gordon's back in the lineup. Gordon hitting ninth.
And taking on the righty Mike Fiers, who found himself a new home here in Oakland. Got awfully comfy very quickly last time out against the Dodgers here at home. We talked about it out the top. 5 1/3, 8 punch outs. A lot of strikes coming out of the right arm for Mike Fiers, so looking forward to a lot more of that this time around.
Defensively, the A's have Pinder, Laureano, and Piscotty in the outfield. Chapman, Simeon, Lauer, and Mark Canha gets the start at first base, with Jonathan Lucroy once again behind the dish. So the A's flip the ball around the horn, and we are set for baseball. A's won last night by a final score of 7-6. They hung on, and I mean hung on.
Yeah.
We were still hanging on when we walked out of the ballpark.
Yeah, it was a scary one.
Yeah, but
hey, that's why you went out and got everybody that you got.
absolutely.
A few good firemen down there. Put it out.
First pitch of the ball game is a strike to Mitch Haniger, so we are underway.
First pitch.
Haniger, Cano, and Segura.
I was interested to see if Segura was going to be in the lineup today after that slide into second base. Jammed his pinky a little bit.
There's a shot to left field, base hit. Pinder hustling over. He goes into a slide and backhands it. And Haniger's going to hustle into second with a leadoff double. So that's how the ball game starts. Umpires tonight, that's James Hoy. And Quinn Walcott's at first, Sean Barber's at second, and Gary Cederstrom is the crew chief. He's down at third. So Haniger's aboard, and here's Robinson Cano with the Boo Birds coming out.
I think it's fair to say that was probably anticipated.
He's going to get it in every ballpark he plays in outside of his home park.
And again, it'll be interesting to see how the fans back in Seattle react.
True, yeah.
This is a new day.
Well, and if you can look at it from a pure baseball standpoint, the Mariners, who have played pretty well without Cano up until maybe 3 weeks ago, where they've struggled a little bit, but I think it's a very important player to get back into their lineup. Well, he's pretty good. We should not forget that.
Yeah, you think about, I mean, this is a guy who, you know, aside from the suspension, you think the body of work he's put together already.
Bounced up the middle. Simeon grabs it, and Simeon throws out Cano, but it's a productive out as Haniger goes to third.
Well, the body of work for Cano says first ballot Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Batting in the third position.
So from a baseball standpoint, you can't forget that. So I think it's probably going to be maybe a boost for the Mariners. We'll see. Here's Gene Segura with Haniger at third. The infield comes in. How about that, Dallas? Does that surprise you at all?
A little bit, you know, but I think what it says is, you know what, we feel like we can execute here. It's early. We understand how important runs can be. And this is something that could really swing momentum one way or the other. If you're able to cut down that first inning run. You know, I'm interested to see here what the Seattle Mariners do if they're running contact right out of the gate. You know, it's one thing for the Oakland A's to bring the defense in this early. It'd be another for the Mariners to run contact early. You might be in a situation where you see the ball through.
And Fires is going to get a huge out.
And that's exactly what it was. The Mariners not running contact on this play. See Scott Brocious over there at third base letting him know we're going to see this ball through here. And there, on contact, Haniger would be running. Just not the case here. Segura, you can see him cutting his swing down, trying to make contact. But a good job of execution by Fires on the mound and defensively for the Oakland A's as well.
Well, I think you could make an argument that of all the people in the Mariners lineup, maybe the toughest out in that spot, runner at third with one out, would be Segura.
Because he's got the ability kind of to lift and separate and get that ball to the outfield if he's got a pitch to do that on. But obviously bat to ball skills lets you know this is a guy who's, it's not hard for him to make contact.
He's a tough out. So here's Nelson Cruz. Cruz 269, 30 home runs. And fouls that one back. Quite a battle last night on the final at bat of the game. Trinan and Cruz with the game on the line, and Trinan was able to strike out Nelson Cruz to end the game and get the A's the victory. One and one to Cruz. Full shift on in the infield. Jed Lowry playing over behind second base. You can see Jed right there in the shot. Oh, and that's why. Last 100 balls put in play by Nelson Cruz. Doesn't do much to the right side, and it is wide open.
Well, just as a pitcher will tend to not give in, same as a hitter, he's got a zone, he's got a path that he likes to stay on, and anything outside of that he's just not going to give in. A good hitter will not give in, and that's for me what those numbers indicate.
Broken bat, shallow right. Piscotty dives in. Did he catch it? No. Second base umpire Sean Barber hustled out there, and he was right there. He got a good look at it, and he said no catch.
Well, it ain't for a lack of effort. You see Ryan Christensen, excuse me, on the horn, and this is going to hit and gather right in the heel of Piscotty's glove. We talk a lot about that sort of side angle the guys take to make that play. Fires is pumped. Thought he had it. Yeah, no, come on, close enough, right?
Close enough. I think he got it. Yeah. Expo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So Cruz with a RBI single here in the first inning, and that'll bring up Denard Span. Span hits a ground ball right to Lowry. Side retired. A run on 2 hits for the Mariners. Bottom of the first coming up. Let's look at the A's lineup. It's brought to you, of course, by Southwest Airlines. A couple of hot hitters at the top, Simeon and Chapman. And then it's Lowry, Davis, Canna, Pinder, Piscotty, Lucroy, and Ramon Laureano.
Taking on the big southpaw from just north of the border, the native Canadian, the Big Maple as he's referred to. He of the no-hitter earlier this year on his home turf up north in Canada against the Blue Jays. And he has been, Kipe, on a roll for the
he's pretty good. Span, Maben, and Haniger in the outfield. Seager, Segura, Gordon, and Cano on the infield, and Mike Zunino is your catcher. So Robinson Cano, his first ever game at first base. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Still very weird for me processing Robinson Cano at first base right now.
He's played 1 inning at shortstop in his big league career. Everything else at second base, and he's a very, very good second baseman still. But he's going to move around the diamond a little bit. So,
see Ryan Healy, young first baseman, going to take a seat with Robinson Cano back, and that's something you have to think about. It's something I thought about as Robinson Cano makes his way back in the lineup. How will the Seattle Mariners move their pieces around? This is now a chess game for the Seattle Mariners, figuring out how, you look at the skipper Scott Service, how you're going to field and deploy Cano.
Deep down the left field line, and that baby is gone. 1-1. Curious to see where this pitch is. A little bit in, maybe?
Well, I'll tell you where it's at, Kipe. Right down Broadway for Marcus Simeon here. Starts to work its way towards the inside, but Simeon got that top hand involved, and Marcus Simeon just lathers up this short stack offered up by the Big Maple.
So here's Chapman, and another look at the home run.
You're going to get a lot of fastballs from the lefty here. Be on time. You know, Kipe, I was talking to Darren Bush, the hitting coach for the Oakland A's, and just kind of talking some shop and going over some numbers. And James Paxton, a guy who likes to fill the strike zone up early, throws a lot of fastballs as well. You know, kind of just asking about the approaches. You got a couple southpaws back to back, two very different individuals. Marco Gonzalez last night, not a ton of velocity, not a ton of swing and miss. Paxton, quite the contrary.
So that one is in the dirt, but Chapman swings and misses. So that's the second time in the career for Marcus Simeon a leadoff home run. The last one was against James Paxton last year in September, right at the end of the year.
Kipe, that was a curveball back in September last year. Got himself a heater this year.
Simeon's 10th home run of the year. Here's Jed Lowry. Lowry at 271 with 18 home runs and 74 runs batted in.
Jed heating back up.
A little bit inside. Lowry had 4 RBIs last night. 3 hits, a couple of doubles. He was all over the place.
He's another guy right in the middle of the mix. This offense starts to roll. Give you a little taste of what Jed was picking up and putting down. A knock to the right side. Chappie hustling, busting it around. And he hooks himself a double down the left field line. He's going to go ahead and shoot himself a double down the left field line from both sides of the dish. Runners in scoring position.
off of Paxton, and Lowry is going to be aboard. And Paxton, wow, where did that get him?
Well, you hope it didn't catch any elbow or arm. And that's what I think it did. I think it might have caught that forearm just at the elbow.
He's coming out.
That's going to do it for the lefty.
Wow.
You can see the swelling already.
And to no surprise, Felix Hernandez gets up. So we are going to see King Felix in the very first inning, with Paxton heading immediately into the clubhouse.
That is very scary, no doubt.
Yeah, that's too bad.
You just hope the lefty's okay. Hope it's nothing structurally wrong. Very, very scary.
So Felix Hernandez will have as much time as he needs to get loose when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So a 1-1 game here in the bottom of the first, but this is what happened to James Paxton, the starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. Is Jed Lowry at bat, and here it is. And it looked like right around the left forearm, correct?
Yeah, right on the left forearm, right by the elbow type. And I mean, we're talking 96 miles an hour off the bat, right on the bow. And for a guy who likes to spin the baseball, throws a lot of fastballs as well, that is, oh, that's tough. Like I said, you know, obviously we're in a very heated pennant race here. Wild card implications, a lot of postseason implications, period. But you never, ever, ever want to see an opponent take an injury like that and go down. It's just, it's a bad scene.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. Felix Hernandez comes in. So he's 8-10 with a 5.73, and obviously those numbers come as a starter. So this is his first relief appearance, and we'll see how he handles that. So 398 career starts for Felix Hernandez, and
well, here
we go.
Well, let's be real. I mean, if you're the Oakland A's right now, upon first impressions, you're okay with the idea that you're now in that bullpen. It's the bottom of the first, and you've got a new, fresh arm out there on that mound. The bad news is, it's representative is Felix Hernandez.
Sure.
And Kipe, that's a 2.7 career ERA versus the green and gold, and a career 2.88 ERA here at the Coliseum. His name very well may be on the deed to the place. So, not necessarily the silver lining you think it might be.
Well, this is going to be interesting, though, because he understands the deal, and he's got something to prove. So he's got 26 career wins over the Athletics. For his career, he has 168 career wins.
Well, and what the Oakland A's have going for them, the point you made, first relief appearance.
So Mark Canha, who's going to hit after Chris Davis, and it looks like Canha's coming out of the game. And Matt Olson swinging a bat.
Well,
so a lot going on here.
Well, the pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre, you see, was out conversating with Felix, and I think that's Bob Melvin just making sure that either A, he's got an explanation as to why that's being allowed, or B, going to go ahead and chalk one of those mound visits up early.
So here's Chris Davis, and again, Matt Olson has come out into the on-deck circle. So that's a quick night for Mark Canha. So Lowry at first, a run in on the Marcus Semien home run.
Baby, you got to have a sense of humor in this game. Sorry, Mark, today's just not your day. We weren't feeling it. You know, we saw you in the on-deck circle. We saw the swings, and
your on-deck swings
just not today. But in all seriousness, that right there, the ability to make light of a situation that would probably stick in the craw of a lot of other individuals.
Absolutely.
It speaks volumes to why this team is where they're at right now. The idea that it's not necessarily a day in, day out competition with the guy in the clubhouse next to you. They're all pulling in the same direction.
And even if he is a little hacked off, you don't show it.
Well, no, he's not going to show. He's going to make the best of the situation, right? He knows he's now got the hall pass to be the best cheerleader he can be tonight.
Davis with a mighty swing, rolls it foul. So 1-2 the count to Chris Davis. Tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Runs inside 90 miles an hour. So Hernandez velocity is kind of ticked down each and every year the last 3-4 years.
Oh, I'd say even more than that, Kite. But you know, this is what happens later stages in your career. Think about guys like Felix, guys like CC Sabathia. Even, you know, Tim Lincecum a few years ago trying to come back and figure out who you are without that fastball.
And he's still young enough where got a chance to figure it out. He's only 32 years old. But you do have to realize that you have to figure it out.
Oh, that's
sometimes that takes a little while.
Sure. And that's what's tough, is because now some of your pitches might not have the same movement, the same effectiveness on them. And that could be for, you know, multitude of reasons. Lack of velocity, lack of sharpness, arm speed plays a huge role.
Just missed outside. So 3-2 the count.
Trying to go down. That fastball at 91.
Pitchcast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. Davis taps it foul. Off speed stuff from Felix Hernandez.
Talking about the King Felix here. Over 2,600 career innings. Just 32 years of age. But remember, he debuted at 19.
Yep. And that one's in the dirt. He walked in.
Well, our good friends at StatCast put together another clip here. Marcus Semien, leadoff taters always taste good going down. It's a great way to get the meal going.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Now the A's are looking for more. So here's Olsen.
And batting for number 20, Mark Canna. Number 28, Matt Olson.
So Matt Olsen was going to hang out, enjoy a little bit of the game tonight. Olsen, get in there.
Well, and you know, sometimes this can work in a player's favor. Just sort of getting snuck up on. You know, maybe you're in a little different headspace, kind of surprised, takes the thought process out of your preparation or your routine. Not something ball players like to do a lot.
Olsen hits one down the left field line, but it's going to slice foul. Plenty of distance.
Yeah. There you go. Getting a little down and dirty early. How about the guy in the front? Good effort, didn't get it. I'll have a seat.
Like a weeble. 1-1 to Olsen with Lowry at second, Davis at first. Missed again. Felix Hernandez may feel like, hey, if I can get through this inning, maybe I can settle in a little bit. But you think about the first time in his career he's pitched out of the bullpen, and then he has to come in the first inning. That's not easy.
And not only that, but Kipe, how he had to go about warming up and getting himself ready. That is being just thrown into the fire, because for Felix, you know, he's going to have an idea of the hitters that are coming up. He's going to have some sort of heads up. Start moving around, stretching. We're going to go hitter to hitter with this guy starting at this inning, whatever the case may be. But he's out there on the game mound, warming up in front of the entire stadium.
2-2 pitch hit hard towards second. And the Mariners are going to get the double play. 4-6-3. Side retired. Olsen hit it hard. But nothing to show for it except the double play. Marcus Semien a home run, his 10th of the year. So after one inning, we're tied at 1. Team photo day with all the front office people. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice idea.
Get the whole family in there.
Get your green and gold out. Look at that. That's a very cool picture.
It's always a fun day, picture day. Get your haircut.
You messed with people, didn't you?
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why I decided that you probably did that. It just
might have felt
the more I get to know you,
something in the rib cage here and there, maybe a little.
Just ribbing you.
Maybe a little hair pull. A little moisture in the earlobe.
Yeah. Those team pictures, they bring out the adult in all of us, don't they?
You know it.
Seager, Zunino, and Maben here in the second inning. A 1-1 game. Full shift on for Kyle Seager. Hey, we should tell our viewers we got kind of a treat tonight. Matt Joyce.
That's right.
Unfortunately, he's on the disabled list, and he's been on it for a while. But Matt, one of the good guys, he's going to join us in the third inning.
Yeah.
He's going to spend 3 innings with us up here in the booth,
Looking
unless he gets bored.
Looking forward to that.
And he doesn't buy anything we're saying, then he may only stay 2 innings.
And you know what? We would understand.
We've been known to scare people off.
It's happened.
So Matt Joyce will join us in the third, and he's gonna hang with us. So and we're gonna try really hard not to ask him how his back feels, but
yep,
we probably need to get that out of the way.
I think just, you know, formalities. We'll move right back into baseball here. You saw Seager.
Seager rips one to right field. Piscotty hustling back. Piscotty makes the catch, bangs against the wall, and hangs on. Nice play.
The fundamentals on full display here for Stephen Piscotty. There's a little theory here called ball, wall, ball. That's an approach. You check the ball, you check for the wall, you go back to the ball, and you make the catch. And that's exactly what Piscotty did as he tracks this ball. There he looked at the wall, ball. Great job by Stephen Piscotty. Byers, appreciate you.
So here's Zunino, and he takes up and in.
And again, taking off, bracing for impact. It's a guy getting pretty comfortable out there.
Yeah, he knew he was going to bang into that wall. Swing and a miss on a high fastball, 1-1. Zunino, 17 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Lots of power. And this one's driven toward the gap in left center field. Nobody's going to get it. Bangs off the bottom part of the wall. Zunino hustling for second, and he's going to get there. A 1-out double.
Ball's cut off by Jed Lowry. We'll take a look at the double here by Zunino. Off the wall, off the lower base. We know about the throwing arm of Laureano. Don't think they would have had a play here. Ball a little high. Who knows? Only a big fella might have been able to snap that throw down, but
so with a runner at second and 1 out, here's Cameron Maben, the center fielder. Maben was 1 for 5 last night. He scored a run. He taps one foul. Showing off this arm.
That's a good one. Nice strong throw. Just don't know if Matt Olson would have had the ability to get that tag down in time. Would have been bang bang.
3 outfield assists in 8 career games.
16 between here and Nashville.
That one is just foul. Would have been trouble. Nice play. Nice play. Sometimes you got to get your uniform dirty.
Got to lay out. You've been watching Matt Chapman.
Yeah, good first step too.
Little snow cone action. I got it. I got it.
Keep an eye on that. Keep an And that burn that he's got on his knee.
Yeah. Need some peroxide later.
I like it, though.
He knows. It's pennant race. Need all the outs, Kite.
Absolutely. Quickest to 27.
So Mike Fiers is trying to lock down here 1-2 against Maben. Saw the big curveball.
And he got it. That's a good hook. A big overhand curve from Fiers, so gets his first strikeout.
We just pay attention to the way guys take pitches. Might have wanted to offer it the one before here, so they go back to the well, throw an even better one. You see that nice tight 12-6 rotation.
So 2 outs. Zunino still at second, and here's D. Gordon. Look at those numbers, last 8 starts. So that's what we talked briefly about in the open of our show, Dallas, how Fiers' stretch of good pitching has gone back a while, and your point was it's really gone back from the beginning of the year because he's pitched well all year.
Right. You go on that stretch there over those last 8 starts, and as I mentioned, really put yourself in the conversation in a lot of different war rooms for as a guy who can be leaned on, as a guy who could be targeted for somebody who can help. Oakland A's like what they saw, pulled the trigger, were able to get something done.
1-1 to D. Gordon. D. Gordon, a line drive right into the glove of Olsen. Side retired, so Zunino with the double, but he's stranded at second base. Bottom of the second coming up. We're tied at 1.
Access is here, and it is redefining the way you can be a part of our A's family. General admission access to every single 2019 regular season home game, a plan of reserved seat tickets, 50% off concessions, 25% off merchandise, parking discounts, first opportunity to purchase postseason tickets for this year, 2018. Learn more at athletics.com/2019 today for A's access. Every game, your way.
So bottom of the second, it'll be Chad Pinder to lead it off against Felix Hernandez. And this one's popped up to Haniger. So maybe I'm overstating this, Dallas, but see, this would be a good inning to keep a close eye on Felix Hernandez. See if he settles in this inning. Well, that group out there in section 108, Dallas, we spoke with them earlier today. We did a nice event before the game, and every one of those folks was at this event and they're keeping score tonight. And it was about keeping score at the game.
Keeping score with Kipe, to be exact.
Well, I guess you could say that, but they were great. They were fun. They asked great questions, and they promised us that they would all keep score for the full 9 innings, and they're doing it, man. Scorecards at the ballpark. How great is that? Segura got him. That's a very nice play by Gene Segura.
And that's a close 6-3. If you're scoring at home, like Kipe helped those nice individuals out with earlier today. You can see going to the backhand. Mean Gene, the hit machine. Strong throwing arm. Stick that back foot in the ground. Plant. Nice throw over to Robinson Cano, newly minted first baseman for the Mariners.
So 2 outs. Here's Lucroy.
And I think you're right, Kipe, as far as settling in for Felix. Not a ton of opportunity to get a feel for what you got going on. It's very different warming up on the game mound in front of an entire stadium as opposed to being able to take your time on the bullpen mound, in the bullpen. Feel a
Maben shaded that way. A nice running catch. Lucroy is retired. And when we come back, Matt Joyce is going to check in. We're looking forward to it.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Top of the third, the Mariners and the A's are all tied at 1 here at the Coliseum, and we're pleased to be joined now by A's outfielder Matt Joyce. Matt, I know you probably, if you really think about it, you probably don't want to be up here with us, but
yeah, it's a totally different way to watch the game. It's an awesome view, and like you said, I mean, it's kind of bittersweet. It's nice to be here, but obviously I'd much rather be out there on the field.
We're only going to ask you one time. How's the back?
Good. Yeah, really good. I took some BP on the field today, and it's nice. It's nice to not have to deal with that. And it's a long process, man. It's incredible when you kind of have a little injury with the back, and obviously when your job requires you to swing a bat at max effort, 100 times a day. And it's just a long process, and sometimes can get pretty frustrating to come back from.
Well, that's something I don't think a lot of people really have a true understanding of. They see the ball players, they see what you guys do day in, day out. as far as throwing and hitting, but everything required of a ball player, very rotational. Your core, your back, being able to get out there and run around on the ground, the impact. Got to make sure everything's feeling right.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much behind the scenes work that goes on just to get prepared for the game. You know, I've had some friends that are like, you just go out there, you stand out there and chase a ball, and sometimes, you know, you stand in the box and take a couple swings. I'm like, no, these guys get here at 12 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, you know, and they don't stop working. You know, maybe they'll take some breaks to give some food or something like that, but it's a long process. You know, these guys work out, they stretch, they run, they get your body ready. And there's a lot of preparation that goes into every game, so it's pretty taxing.
Is it possible to be frustrated but also excited watching this team and
no
what
doubt.
has happened in the last month and a half, 2 months now?
Yeah, no doubt. These guys have been really exciting to watch. You know, I mean, it's bittersweet. You know, I've said that before, but it's bittersweet to watch and you know, see how well the guys are playing and you know, the race that we're right in. I mean, we've done a great job getting back into the hunt and have a really good shot at making the playoffs. And obviously, you know, my situation's been frustrating, but for me, these guys have been an inspiration, just playing this well and giving us a shot in the playoffs. And you know, it just kind of makes me push a little bit harder to get back and work a little bit harder to, you know, hopefully come back and come up with some big hits and help us get to the playoffs.
Well, that's something I wanted to kind of ask you about is, as a guy who is captain of the All Fragile team, I had to figure out ways to try to get better when I was on the DL because I had found myself, like I said, trying to get healthy more times than staying healthy. But what are some things, I guess, that hitters might do as far as routine, video, whatever it is, to try to find a way to get better if you've got the opportunity?
Yeah, so I think as you get older, things become a little bit different, and your body can't take the amount of swings and the amount of work day in and day out that you're used to. So there's definitely little adjustments, and I'm sure you know that's a game of adjustments. So standing in on bullpens, you know, doing things like the Barry Bonds drill where you have a machine thrown at you hard and you're just catching it as opposed to taking full swings and putting the max effort on your body and on your back. Little things like that go a long way into helping you get up to game speed, helping with your timing, your pitch recognition, and obviously all those things kind of play a big role.
Segura, the hitter, with Robinson Cano doing his thing, a line drive to left center field. Did you see when you went on the disabled list, did you're around these guys, and we talk a lot about, did anybody see this great stretch of baseball coming? Well, maybe not, but you could see there was some talent out there. Has any of this surprised you at all? This may be a double play, and it will be a double play. So nicely turned, and we'll continue that conversation with Matt Joyce. Did he see this great stretch coming? Sure he did. Heck of a year last year.
And he knew it. He knew it, Kipe.
Oh, man. Those are some good feelings.
Isn't it? Just flushing. Oh.
25 last year, right?
25. Yeah, 25. That's good year. That is.
So we were asking you before the double play, did you see this great stretch coming from these guys? I mean, you were part of it, you were playing, and you're going to get back playing soon, but they've gone on this run. Surprised at all? And I know that's a tough question because these are your teammates, but I think it surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it definitely surprised a lot of people. I mean, being a part of it and watching the young talent that we have, I don't think I was as surprised, that we have gone on this nice run. And you know, it's a huge testament to the guys. It's a huge testament to the front office and Billy and Force and all these guys. Scouting department, obviously, we have some tremendously young, talented players. And Chapman, Olsen, and go down the list, obviously. Ramon, this guy at the plate, his tools are off the charts. So it's been, like I said, it's been fun to watch, and I'm foaming at the mouth just to kind of get back out there and be a part of it. And it's exciting. It's exciting last stretch of baseball, and I'm sure the fans are kind of riding along with us with the excitement.
Well, it has been a great stretch, and it just doesn't. You guys don't show any signs of this stretch slowing down. I mean, that's what amazes me. I mean, we're talking about a stretch of 45 to 50 games. That's a third of a season, you know. I mean, and you're always kind of like, wow, man, can they keep this going? And you do keep it going. That's what's really kind of fun about this.
Yeah, and then I think it becomes I wouldn't say a habit, but it becomes almost like an expectation, especially in the clubhouse. The guys they expect to win. Sure. You know, they have the feeling that they feel like they should win, and they have a feeling of expectation to win almost every night. And man, that's a fun way to play and show up to the ballpark every day.
Well, the feeling of the unification and the chemistry is palpable. As somebody who spends a lot of time around you guys and is in and out of that clubhouse, I can see firsthand why, or I feel like I have a pretty good idea as to why the success is being had. But we saw tonight, Paxton wears one off the elbow. Mark Canha lifted before he even steps foot in the box. Ole comes up, takes his spot. Canha's got a smile on his face. Back in the dugout, standing at the top step, cheering for the guy who just took his place in the game before he's even got a time to get dirt under his cleats. Not a worry in the world.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily no worry in the world. I think he definitely wants to be in that position, but it's the word that comes to mind is that selflessness.
Yes.
I think that's something that I've always tried to take a lot of pride in, and try to help the guys, understand that it's not necessarily, it's a very selfish game, and it's easy to get wrapped up in your own stats and how you're doing. But the more you can care about the other guy and his performance and how he's doing and how he's feeling, maybe you can help him with something you see that he's doing at the plate. The better it's going to be for everybody, and that's how you win. That's how you become a great team. That's how you make the playoffs.
And I'm sure both of you guys have been on teams where that doesn't exist.
Oh, no doubt.
And you can smell that from a mile away, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun to be a part of that.
It's no fun showing up to the yard like that. You're looking over your back, wondering who's here for what reasons.
Right.
3-1 now to Chapman, who struck out in the first. It was against Paxton.
This kid's great, man. This kid's going to be, if he can stay healthy and I mean, his work ethic is phenomenal. He's just he's an all-around baseball player, and he has fun with it. He's a little crazy, which I'm sure you got to be a little crazy to play the game.
Oh yeah.
But he's an exceptional player to watch. Great kid, and makes a highlight play every night, and it's fun to watch.
Well, he is indeed a rising star. Those are numbers from his last 162 games. 41 doubles and 25 home runs. Think about Matt Chapman. I hear this from people, and you would know better than anybody. They said he's barely played a full year in the big leagues, but he has major leadership qualities. Do you see that? Have you seen that from a guy who's really so young? Right field, Haniger looking up, and that baby's gone. Jed Lowry, a 2-run shot, and it's 3-1 the A's lead.
Mr. 1000.
You know it, Mr. 1000.
I called him that earlier today. He was in the weight room lifting, obviously.
Oh, boy. Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed. Got himself a spinner and straight up dropped head. Curveball from the king. Never makes its way back down to the back foot. That's his 100th career home run. Matty Joyce, you got your bags packed?
Man, you got to get that ball from him. Yeah.
All aboard. We're going to Pound Town.
I love it. I love it. Jed's one of the best off-speed hitters, I've ever played with, and I always tell him that. And that was a curveball, a little hanging curveball that he did not miss there.
Well, now you can call it Mr. 100.
There you go.
100th career home run.
1,100, man, that's awesome.
So Lowry is starting to heat up again. That's a wonderful sight for the Athletics. That's a career high in RBIs as well. 76 RBIs now.
Yeah, I think he's feeling a little bit better. I think he was a little banged up and dealing with a couple things for the last month there, and you could tell over the last week that he's swinging a little bit better. He's moving a little bit better, and like I said, you play that many games, and you get a little bit older, it gets a little more challenging. So it's nice to see him bounce back a little bit.
Well, that's a good point, because I kind of made the point the other night about Jed and how important he is up the middle. His ability, obviously, Chappie goes down early in the year, slides over to third, fills in very nicely. But as a switch hitter as well, how important it is for his body to feel good.
Yeah, and that's tough to do when you're playing every day.
Pete Gordon tracks it down. Side retired Jed Lowry with home run number 19 on the year. 2-run shot, and it gives the A's a 3-1 lead as we head to the fourth. So Jed Lowry with a 2-run shot to give the A's the 3-1 lead, fourth inning. So a few runs to work with for Mike Fiers. He'll face Cruz, Span, and Seager here in the fourth inning. Cruz had a bloop single that knocked in a run in the first.
Gotta love this. First pitch changeup from the veteran Fiers. Second time around against Nelson Cruz. just got himself some runs, a little bit of a cushion. Not going to go in there and just lay in a first pitch heater to a fastball hunter, the boomstick Nelly. That's pitching 101, Kai.
Get ahead. Stay
You know
ahead.
it. Best pitch in baseball, Matty.
There you go. Strike one. No doubt. Yeah, Fires, you know, I mean, he doesn't light up the radar gun, but his fastball plays up. And his fastball rides through the zone, and he stays at the top of the zone.
All right, time now for Coors Light refreshing finish. The A's flashed some weather last night. Matt Chapman seems like every night, but they made some very important plays that saved a couple of runs. You saw Chapman there. Watch this play by Marcus Semien. So very nicely done. Both those plays saved runs for the A's, and you think about that when you look at the final score. It was a one-run game.
Yeah, those guys have been, I mean, just solid. You know, all around, our defense has been phenomenal. I mean, Piscotty's been great. You know, obviously Ramon, you know, adding his speed and being able to run down balls, and made some exceptional plays in LA. It's just been exciting, man. Exciting time for the A's, and really the whole organization is starting to turn a corner. And man, for me, just excited to be a part of it.
It's been a great season to watch unfold. And you mentioned the reinforcements.
Yep.
Along with you guys out in the outfield, the versatility of the young guys. You know, if I think about Mark Canha, how many people have the ability, how many teams have the ability to take a guy who's going to start in center field for him, take him over to first base, anywhere in between.
That one is drilled toward right center field. Piscotty cannot quite get it. Picked up by Laureano, gets it in quickly, and Span has a one-out double.
What tries that cutter back door? This thing just makes its way back over the heart of the plate a little too much. Denard Span, good low ball hitter. Clears the hips, drops the head up into the alley. Piscotty just unable to get to it. Just talking about his ability to go and get it out there in right field.
You played a lot of outfield here, Matt. Tell us about, I know at nighttime, ball doesn't carry so well, very heavy air. I guess the grass gets a little dewy. But,
a little dewy, yep.
But all in all, some of the tricks of playing the outfield here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awareness. You know, you have to be aware of where you're at, who's hitting, the wind, you know, how the marine layer is coming in, and usually ball flies a little bit better during the day or when it's hotter. You know, who's next to you, where he's playing, and it's just, you know, just having that awareness.
What do the winds do here? I know they're
yeah, sometimes they swirl. It's a little weird. Yeah, sometimes you'll see the flag blowing out to right, and it'll swirl a little bit. You know, just because of the stadium, and just got to pick up a little grass, throw it up in the air, and you know,
get a feel.
Get a feel for it. Exactly.
One thing we see you guys do very well, our outfielders, is play the ball off the wall, play the carom. Is there anything to that as far as making sure you know how to field the ball, what angle it's going to take? And I see a lot of guys, they show up to a new ballpark, maybe day one, you're out there with your instructors taking balls off the wall. Just talk a little bit about how to go into a new ballpark and prepare yourself for those things.
Yeah, I think it's just like anything. You know, it's repetition. Getting the practice. Repetition is the mother of all skill. You know, and just getting comfortable with a ballpark. And obviously Ramon's going to go to a lot of new ballparks, and he's going to have to do some early work and getting a feel for the places that he's going to play in, and just seeing how the ball bounces off the wall. Just playing different balls and getting comfortable with the stadium. You know,
and I think we saw that with Piscotty this year. Piscotty's a very good outfielder. He struggled a little bit early on in this ballpark. The first homestand, he just didn't look quite sure of himself. And then you watch him now, and he's a very, very good outfielder. But you could tell he was trying to figure it out a little bit early in the year.
Yeah, no, he's a great athlete. He's a great athlete, and obviously, like you said, in the beginning, he struggled a little bit, and you know, playing every day, you get a little more comfortable, and you start to get better reads, and from there, man, he's just taken off. He's made phenomenal plays all year.
Well, I like what you said. Repetition, the mother of all skill. It's about getting the work in, positive reps. And that's what I see these guys do. I watch you. When you're out there, I watch the rest of this group. balls off the bat in BP, getting the early work in. And for me, that's why I feel so strongly about this group right now, because you just don't seem to see a let-up or a wavering of approach, no matter if it's any one of the men that are starting in the lineup that day or if it's the 25th man on the roster who just showed up from Nashville.
Yeah, these guys, this is such a great group of kids, great group of guys, incredible work ethic, great attitude, show up every day, you know, with a smile on their face, eager to work, and have a lot of fun along the way, and obviously it's paying off.
Well, what'd you think of this play? We're going to let you break it down.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's a double. That's a short hop double off the wall, off the bat, and he turns it into a double play with a throw. You know, that's insane.
Well, I have no problem admitting this. I was watching, and Dallas and I talked about it, I was watching the runner, because I'm thinking, well, I want to see, do they have a shot at getting the runner?
Right.
And as I'm watching the runner hustling back to first, I see the ball coming in, and my initial thought was, it's from the relay man.
Yeah. There's
the cutoff man.
There's
and
not
then,
a lot of guys that can do that.
And then when Canna caught it, I realized that was not from the cutoff man.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Because I was watching the runner to see if, you know, do we have a shot at getting him?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
there's only been maybe a handful of guys that can do that
Yeah.
over a long time.
Right.
Not now.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's a couple guys that can do it now, Puig and Cespedes, but still, wow.
Well,
in
that's
center field even more so.
that was kind of where I was coming from. Center field, 321 feet away, on an absolute dime.
Yeah.
0-2 to Zunino. Span at third. Fastball and foul back. Fires has the ability, and tell us what it's like to hit off a guy. Fires is not thrown hard. He's throwing 89, 90 miles an hour, but he's always had the ability to pitch right at the top of the strike zone. And you see a lot of swings through on pitches like that.
Right, like I said, I mean, it doesn't light up the radar gun, but his fastball really takes off. It has really good ride, and staying at the top of the zone, it's incredibly difficult to get on top of. And you know, Fire. I mean, we kind of go back far away. I think he actually played at Nova Southeastern, which was one of our rivals at Florida Southern. And I actually faced him when I went on a rehab stint. I think it was 2010. And man, he's been great. He's a great addition for us, and we're really excited to have him.
Gets Zunino with that high fastball. Bottom of the fourth coming up. All right, time now for Lowe's whole team together. We're talking exit velocity on hits. Aaron Judge, the average exit velocity on all his hits, 95.8. Matt Olson's on there, 93.5. So is Davis. So is Chapman. The old exit velocity. So what do you think? Are you buying all this launch angle, exit velocity?
To some
Should
degree.
we be following it as close as we are? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's interesting for the fans to know. As a player, I think it's hard to control those sort of things. I mean, you know, when you ask Pujols and you talk to those guys about hitting, I mean, they say that they're line drive hitters, you know, and they try to hit line drives over the infield into the gap, and they'll pick their pitches where they're trying to really drive the ball. So, you know, I don't sit there and go at the plate on line. I'm going to try to hit a 30-degree launch angle right here because it's too hard to control. It's a round ball with a round bat, and you're just trying to square it up and hit it hard somewhere.
But I mean, I've asked guys, and I'm still sort of looking for an answer. When you guys start talking exit velocity, or not a launch angle, and that, is it a swing change? I mean,
I think it's
dropping
easier
on their back leg a little bit more, an uppercut. I mean, what would you do if you said, hey, I got to work on my launch angle?
Yeah,
I want a better launch angle.
Well, the challenge is it's easier to work on in BP. I mean, you know, in batting practice, they're laying it in there. You're working on your swing, you know, and you can kind of do what you want for the most part if you're feeling good.
Sure.
You know, hit line drives the other way, maybe pull the ball, you know, drive the ball, you know, to center, or pull the ball and really get the head out and you know, try to hit some home runs. But in the game, it becomes you know, way more difficult. They're mixing pitches. They're in. They're out. Situations are changing. I mean, obviously, somebody like Felix, he's nibbling. He's throwing, you know, sinkers at the bottom of the zone, and you have guys that are throwing 97 later in the game that the ball's riding. So you try to simplify it as much as possible. You know, it's a hard enough game as it is. So somebody like Felix, you know, he mixes his pitches so well. I'm trying to see the ball up and trying to get something that I can drive to the outfield, to center, to left center, and try to stay through the ball. And he's, you know, he's not the power pitcher that he used to be. He's not throwing 95 anymore. He's 90, 91 with his fastball. Obviously, his changeup's right around 88. And he's trying to get you to kind of hit a ground ball, weak ground ball in the infield. So for me, I'm trying to back the ball up and drive the ball to left center.
So you're not, guys aren't walking up to home plate going, you know what? Try to improve that launch angle a little bit this at bat. I mean, this is a swing change, right? I mean, this is not something you're going to decide to do for this game.
Yeah, I think you can to some degree, you know, and it's so minuscule. You know, and there's times where I'm like, okay, this guy has a sinker, you know, I'm going to try to drive the ball in the air to left center or something like that. So my swing works a little bit more under the ball and uphill. But if I take that same approach and that same swing with somebody that throws 96, 97 with ride, I'm going to swing under it and I'm going to miss it. Get up.
Span cannot get it. Piscotty's going to have a double. And the reason I'm asking you about this is just because it's something that's talked about a lot now with hitters is the launch angle.
Yeah, I think as hitters and players, we kind of joke about it. You know, if you hit a ball like that, you know, we'll joke with Scotty, your exit speed's got to be 103 as opposed to 102.2 there. You know,
sure.
And it's just part of, you know, it's just fun, and kind of gives you something to joke about. But you know, like I said, you try to simplify it as much as possible.
So here's Luke Croy. See if the A's can get a 2-out hit. First pitch drops in for a strike. Luke Croy lined out to center field in the second inning.
Yeah, and Lou, I mean, he's been a huge addition for us, you know, especially behind the plate. He obviously hasn't driven the ball as much as he'd like, and I think he's a little frustrated with that. But I mean, his ability to call a game and to really lead the guys.
So Zunino grabs it. Yeah, he's been a good addition, Jonathan Lucroy. He's come up short that time. Fifth inning coming up. 3-1 A's.
on NBC Sports California is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
A's with a 3-1 lead over the Mariners. It is the top of the 5th inning. Enjoying our conversation with Matt Joyce. That is not Matt Joyce. No. That's a little more subdued than that.
I like it.
That guy is here for a good time.
Yeah. Our fans will make a good effort. I'll say that. And that one is ripped to left field. Could be trouble, and it is gone. That's Cameron Maben hitting out of the A spot. A home run to make it 3-2.
Yeah, I came up with Cam with the Tigers, and I think he was a first-round draft pick, and we played together in West Michigan. And you know, he always had that light tower power. He's had a little trouble being consistent with it. But, he obviously got that one.
That's right. He was part of the Miguel Cabrera trade, right?
Yeah, he was.
A little bit of history between Maben and Fiers. 308 lifetime for Maben against Fiers. Add another one to the home run column.
Fiers has allowed 22 home runs this year, which is a fairly high amount, tied for 6th in the American League. He's done that in 128 innings.
Blame the baseball kite.
So 0-2 the count to D. Gordon. Gordon hitting in the 9th spot for the Mariners.
And you know what, Matty? Let me ask you a little bit about that as well. D. Gordon hitting in the 9th spot, something he hasn't done a whole lot of. Career .211 hitter in the 9-hole, only 76 plate appearances. But as far as somebody who's been at the top of the lineup, at the bottom of the lineup as well, as far as approach is concerned, what changes for you, say, at the top of the lineup as opposed to somewhere near the bottom?
Yeah, I've hit in every spot in the lineup from 1 through 9, which is pretty incredible. But you know, for me personally, my approach doesn't change that much. It is a totally different experience when you're leading off the game and you're thrown into the fire. You know, right from the get-go, pitch 1, as opposed to waiting around, you know, maybe 3 innings just to get in at bat. And you know, in the 9-hole, you can have 2 or 3 at bats, and if lead off, you can get 5 or 6. And you know, obviously, if you're going well, you know, you want to be in leadoff and feel well, and obviously you can really help the team in that leadoff spot. But in the 9-hole, it's you know, like I said, for me personally, I'm trying to get a good pitch, and obviously my approach depends on who I'm facing and what the situation calls for.
How would you say, I mean, we remember you when you came up and with the Rays and you had good seasons with the Rays. How have you changed as a hitter? I mean, as your career goes on and you learn things, and I guess most guys become better hitters as they get older because they learn things. But when you think about what was going on in your mind in an at-bat when you were a young guy and now that you've been around a while, what's the difference?
I would say the biggest difference is you have a better understanding of what you do well and what you don't do well, and you have to stick to your strengths, you know, as much as you can, because there's so much information in this game. They know what you hit well, what you don't hit well. They know how to pitch you. They know where you hit the ball. Obviously, the shifts are everywhere today. Obviously, right now they're shifting, and so you have to be you know, really prepared in the game, and you have to have a good approach. And
what about shifts?
Now batting.
Do you hate them?
You know, I'm not a fan.
I had a feeling you'd
Definitely not a fan. I think they've hurt the left-handed hitter obviously way more than the righty, because it's harder to shift the righty and be that deep. You know, the lefties have kind of got crushed in the game. I wouldn't mind seeing them rule in favor of putting the shift. If they do the shift, and the infielders have to stay on the dirt.
On the dirt.
Yeah, that, I think that would help a lot. Because I mean, if you hit a line drive, you know, short right field, and they catch it, I mean, that's, you know, that should be a hit.
Laureano tracks it down. Cameron Maben with a solo home run. So we got a 1-run game, bottom of the 5th coming up.
For baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. You know who it is. You know what time it is. Marcus Semien jumping ship early off the big maple. Putting the good guys on the board. Semien coming out white hot.
Yeah, I like to see that.
Yeah.
I like to see him drive the ball a little bit more. I mean, obviously, you know, he's a guy that can really do it and has the potential to do it. So it's nice to see him drive the ball like that.
There's Ramon Laureano, who bounces one foul, so he's quickly behind in the count 0-2. Laureano struck out in the third. Semien to follow, and then Matt Chapman. Asked you a question earlier, and then we went to break about Chapman. Is there leadership qualities there, and can you be a leader in a clubhouse when you're so young?
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. Absolutely you can. And you know, I think as a young guy, you kind of have to take the leadership role in your play and your work ethic, which I think he's done an awesome job at. You know, he's not one of those guys that's going to speak up a lot and you know, tell me that I need to work harder or something, you know. but he's done a great job, and obviously he definitely has those leadership roles. You know, I was talking to Bushy and Bomel yesterday, and watching him at the plate, he looks a lot more relaxed. He looks like he's standing up a little bit more. You know, I felt earlier in the year and mentioned it to him that he looked very tense and you know, I mean, this game's tough, man. I mean, it looks so much easier on when you watch it on TV. But you just want to do so well, and sometimes you get, you know, that pressure on you, and you try so hard that you know, when you try to muscle the ball, just things don't go how you want them to go, and you kind of have to relax and let your hands work, and you know, this way you can stay on the ball with your head and your eyes, and your hands can work inside the ball like that. That's great swing.
Leadoff single for Laureano, so he's got some speed on the bases.
That is a great swing. Break it down for us, Matty.
Yeah, a little two-seam in. You know, Ramon's obviously trying to stay inside the ball, and like I said, get it up out over the plate. Stayed inside and drove it through the hole there, and you know, one of the things I really love about this kid is his eagerness to learn and get better. Obviously, his tools are off the charts with his speed and his arm. You know, he's a really good hitter. I think his power will come along a little bit better, but you know, man, it's hard to teach that eagerness to learn and get better. That's
such a great point, because just spending time around the cage, kind of watching him go about his business, constantly asking questions from anybody basically that'll listen, to any instructor that'll listen, that'll give him feedback. That's something that I pay attention to.
Oh yeah,
fair ball. Seager's going to have to hold on to
I like it. That's beauty.
Seager juggled, although I don't know that he was going to get Marcus Semien anyway.
Yeah, probably not. Semien, a tremendous athlete. See here a full swing off the bat of Semien. Caught himself out front. Seager doing his best to try to put himself in a position to make a throw. So he didn't have enough time to round it. And the best decision was just putting it in his back pocket.
So a nice opportunity for the A's to add on to their 3-2 lead as Chapman steps up, 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get ahead with a curveball here.
And he hits it right to Seager, and that's a double play. So Matt Joyce, unfortunately, you made a good call, because it was a curveball, and
yeah, I've faced
after?
Felix plenty of times. So
watch the first pitch breaking
I think
ball.
it was a good one to hit. He just caught it a little too far out in front. Yeah.
Yeah, elevated breaking ball.
You know, you see it up there, you're like, oh man, your eyes get big, and front shoulder, you know, flies off a hair, and you know, that's what happens.
So a big double play by Hernandez, and now Lowry steps up, and it's a hot hitter in Lowry, a single and a 2-run homer. And the first pitch is low. Lowry 3 for 5 last night with 4 RBIs, 2 for 2 tonight with 2 RBIs.
Take you back to the 3rd inning when Jed jumped ship. That curveball that Matt Joyce pointed out. This one didn't make its way all the way to the Zanino. Instead, Jed sends it out to Souvenir City.
Now the count 2-1.
Yeah, Jed, man, I tell you what, he's done a phenomenal job all year, and just coming up with clutch, really big clutch hits. Wouldn't mind seeing one right here.
Right to second. Side retired. Matt Joyce, thanks for coming up. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys. It was
Awesome.
fun.
Great to have you, buddy.
Let's get you back.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the pennant race.
Yeah, babe. Look forward to seeing you guys out on the field.
Sounds good, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks.
Could be a stuffed animal. It was clinging to that thing, though.
I got safety blankets. I've watched the peanuts around him, though.
That's a good point. Segura loops one foul. So Segura, Cruz, and Span here in top of the 6th inning. Fires at 63 pitches.
We'll get the lefty Ryan Booker cranking. We've seen the starters work deep into ball games in recent outings.
First 5 innings for Fires this season, 3.06 ERA. After that, 5.40. So all those numbers come into play for Bob Melvin come decision time.
Well, it's that all-important 3rd time through the lineup, right?
A little pop-up. Could be trouble, and it's going to drop, but it's foul.
And you got to figure with the weapons that Bob Melvin has down there, anytime you can get 5 innings out of your starting pitcher and you're still in a position to win the ball game, you've got a bullpen essentially full of closers. Should the situation dictate? Should the leverage swing?
That's Fernando Rodney in the middle.
That's right. Hanging out.
That big curve from Fires, but Segura is able to lay off. Another curve, and now it's 3-2.
It's been a pitch that's worked for him tonight. He's done a good job of getting ahead with the breaking balls, put some guys away with it as well.
So 2 straight breaking balls to get the count to 3-2. Fastball foul at the plate.
See Segura choked up, looking to battle. Some bad intentions, even with that 2-strike swing from Mean Gene.
He's got some pop, 9 home runs. Tapped foul as Chapman grabs it, shows off his arm just for fun. Just for theater.
And I would too.
Every time.
If I was walking around with land-to-air missile defense on my right shoulder, I might be prone to let it loose every once in a while as well.
The right arm, the urban assault vehicle.
It is. I mean, it's unfair.
Another 3-2. Good battle here. Fires in Segura. And he got it. Segura chased. So that's 1 out here in the 6th inning. NBC Sports California has compiled the A's top 50 most memorable moments in Oakland. Now we want the fans to pick the most memorable moment. Tonight, the 2012 AL West clinch on the last day of the season versus the Texas Rangers, going up against Dave Stewart's no-hitter in Toronto in 1990. That is a tough choice. Fans can vote through our A's Twitter poll, and the play that wins advances to face the next memorable moment. It's a season-long promotion. Dallas Braden, you had a good run.
Good run. Good run. Just happy to be in the conversation, Kite. Just happy to be here.
I believe you. 0-1 to Nelson Cruz. 0-2 to Nelson Cruz. Yeah, that's that high fastball.
Boys working the old meat ladder, Kite. One just at the top of the zone, one just a little higher than that. Might get himself another cheese biscuit up top, see if he can get the fish to bite.
Then he went with a big snapper, and he got Cruz swinging. Watch this curveball.
Little heater, pitch 1, little heater, pitch 2. Knock, knock, who's there? It's Uncle Charlie. Let me in. I'm ready to party. Big bender. Hey, for strike 1 for the putaways.
So 2 outs here in the 6th. 5 strikeouts now for Fires. Right on the inside corner.
How about that? A little hesitation.
Feeling it.
Disruption of timing. The art of pitching.
Span has grounded out, and he has doubled. Ended up being stranded at 3rd in the 4th inning. Strike right on the outside corner. Very good pitch.
Fire's starting to get real comfy. Little arm slot manipulation. Some hesitation in the windup. Getting comfy, Kite.
Span rolls it foul.
And even there on the changeup.
Turning it over a little bit, huh?
Go back to that pitch. We talked about the fastball Sort of off that low three-quarter changeup of a delivery. Here, that changeup, that split grip out of that same slot.
Hit hard right to Olsen. Very good inning for Fiers as he has retired 5 in a row. Make it 6 in a row. A's leading 3-2. Class of the Athletics Hall of Fame. Hunter, Fingers, Jackson, Eckersley, Henderson, Stewart, Finley. How great is that?
Look at those names.
The Athletics Hall of Fame. And that is the first class going in.
I got to tell you, Kite, just seeing those names, knowing that I've had the opportunity, the honor to speak to some of these individuals, to share a broadcast booth, to share a studio with some of these individuals. Wow, man, it just kind of really puts it all in perspective for me to think that like I've said, I've had the opportunity to create relationships with these gentlemen. This is a very deserving honor.
Wednesday, September 5th is when that group will be honored, and we'll put them into the Athletics Hall of Fame, the first group. Well deserved for all those guys.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal. That is a big deal.
Good ball game. A's 3, Mariners 2, bottom of the 6th inning. So we had a 1-run game last night, although it was Mariners came back late to make it a 1-run game.
Well, Felix Hernandez has come in and
he's done a good job.
Pitched very well.
This one's popped up. Zunino's going to have a play, or Cano. It'll be Zunino. And he juggled it a little bit. So that is out number 1. Crowd tonight at a Tuesday night, 17,419. 17419. So a little better crowd than last night.
If you win them, they will come.
Treehouse is jumping as always. And we can tell you a final score from Houston. The Colorado Rockies 5 and the Houston Astros 1. A's are a game and a half out of first place. Are you kidding me?
That's real. It's real.
Game and a half out. The Astros have lost 5 in a row. Arenado homered, Story homered, and the Rockies beat Verlander. Verlander had 11 strikeouts in 6 innings, but he took the loss. Gave up a couple of earned runs. Mariners, or not the Mariners, the Rockies added on some runs late.
Starting to play a lot better as well as of late.
Rockies, yep. Absolutely. The Rockies are just game out of first place.
Well, you think about the NL West and that race, the AL West.
Yeah, both really good races.
I mean, it's hot out here on the west side.
Two pitches drilled. Right field, Haniger over in. It's over his head. Ricochets off the wall. Olsen is going to round second, and the big man's going to put on the brakes. So double number 23 for Matt Olsen. That was a shot.
Well, it's interesting. We just had our boy Matty Joyce up here talking to us about playing caroms and bounces off of the outfield wall here. And Haniger decides, you know what, I don't have a chance of catching this ball. I need to hit the brakes here and get in position just a little too late. And you can see here, he's got to make up ground and give this thing a chase. Matty O, 104 off the barrel from Olsen. Big fella goes cruising into second for a stand-up double. Just a little 2-iron off the tee box kite for Matt Olsen. Low stinger.
Think he could hit it far on the golf course?
Probably could.
A little Bubba Watson, maybe?
Yeah.
0-2 to Pinder. A's could use an insurance run. So the A's, I'm going to say it again, are a game and a half out of first place. The team that's in first place is coming to the Coliseum this weekend.
We knew how important this series was going to be heading into this homestand. Total division homestand. You got Texas coming in, backing that up with Houston. Just saw Seattle and Houston square off. Seattle went into Houston and took their lunch money.
Pinder swings and misses on a pitch that just kind of floated on the inside corner.
It's that changeup down and in. And again, Matt Joyce up here talking about the velocity on the pitch. This one at 85, but the movement as well, Kipe. This is all off arm speed here. 89, 91 with the fastball. How about that? 2,443 career tickets punched. Passing the lefty, a heartthrob of mine, Jamie Moyer.
One of your guys. I can see some similarities there.
That's right. Aside from the long, illustrious career, pretty much the same guy.
Should also mention that Rockies-Astros series is just a 2-game series. They'll play tomorrow. And the Astros will be off. So they'll have, Astros will probably come to the Bay Area on Thursday, but they will have an off day on Thursday. Saw Nick Vincent throwing for the Mariners. Oh, 2 pitches sliced down the right field line, but it's foul. So the count remains 0-2 to Stephen Piscotty. They're talking about George Springer possibly playing on Friday.
He's been taking some BP, moving around a little bit, running.
So that would be a boost for the Astros. Still no Altuve. Correa's back.
I'm sure they're happy to see their man in the middle back. Carlos Correa. Think about that. Correa down, Altuve down, Springer down. That's 1, 2, 3 right there in your lineup.
That's 1, 2, 3. Very good 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, Springer, the leadoff pop. We were blessed for so many years here with Ricky Henderson putting that skill on display. Power at the leadoff spot. Mess around, throw a first pitch fastball, and look up, and it's 1-0 in a hurry. George Springer's got a little bit of that in him.
Absolutely. Tapped out in front. Zunino to first. Side retired. Olsen is stranded at second. We're moving to the 7th inning. A's 3, Mariners 2.
California is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads, calling all adventurers, explorers, and thrill seekers. Become a member of Roaring Camp's new Kids Club today.
Top of the 7th, the A's leading 3-2, and it is A's bullpen time. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So Ryan Buchter comes in for his 35th appearance. He's going to face Seager, Zunino, and Maben here in the 7th inning. So lefty on lefty. First pitch, a little bit outside, but a good pitch. So Mike Fiers, 6 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, and he threw 78 pitches. So another good outing for Mike Fiers. He's had a bunch of them in a row. 2 straight for the A's.
That's right, 2 straight for the A's. This is what you went and got him for. Hand this ball over to the bullpen with an opportunity to win. Gives you 6. Give it to the big lefty Buchter. You start matching up.
Petit throwing. So 1-1 to Seager, who has been robbed of a hit on a nice play out in right field by Piscotty and then grounded out to second. Taps this one up the middle. That's Lowry, who's playing behind second base, 1 away. So 1 batter face for Buchter, and that's going to do it. So Buchter got the lefty, and now Yusmeiro Petit coming in.
off with divisional opponents, and we need your support here at the ballpark. Come on out for tomorrow's day game. You can grab a lower level ticket for $15 as part of Bart Rapid Deal Days at athletics.com/rapid. Help us defend the town. Handle some town biz, folks. Grab your seats today at athletics.com/rapid.
We're working too.
I'll be here.
So one away, and Petit comes in. Yusmeiro Petit, he did not pitch last night. It was Pagan, Familia, Trevino, and Trinan, the four guys that pitched last night.
And I know each individual down there at one point or another has relished the idea of having a role, having a label, knowing when that phone rings, it's your number that's up. Maybe not necessarily the case, but the idea that you have the reinforcements and the support down there, I mean, that is a platoon and a unit in all its own.
Certainly plenty of wonderful toys down there for the manager, that's for sure. Zunino is retired. So 2 outs here in the 7th inning, and that'll bring up Cameron Maben, who homered in the 5th.
Number 10, Cameron.
Should also tell the
Maben.
Yankees won tonight. They beat the Rays 4-1 at Yankee Stadium. So win number 75 for New York. J.A. Happ got the win, so he's off the disabled list, and he pitched very well. Just 1 hit tonight in 7 innings. So J. Happ gets his 13th win. That's the wild card.
He's made an impact.
Yeah. So the Yankees with a 4-game lead for the #1 wild card spot right now over the A's. Red Sox won again. They beat the Phillies 2-1. How about that series in Philadelphia? Center field. Laureano's going back. Laureano at the wall makes the catch. Just enough room for Ramon Laureano to jump up and grab it for the 3rd out.
Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Bottom of the 7th, 3-2, the A's lead. Ramon Laureano will hit 2nd this inning. And the new pitcher, his name is Nick Vincent. Vincent, the third pitcher of the night.
Righty for the Mariners, 87-91.
Haniger drifts over near the line, and Haniger has it. So Lucroy is retired on one pitch. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Now batting,
Vincent,
center fielder,
3-2 with a 4.54 ERA.
Ramon Laureano.
And now he'll face Ramon Laureano.
You mentioned the fastball, 87-91, likes his cutter and changeup as well. Changeup not so much. Heavy fastball cutter combo.
First pitch in for a strike to Laureano. Felix Hernandez, 5 2/3 innings out of the bullpen, 5 hits, 2 runs, couple of strikeouts. So that is his first ever career relief appearance, and it was not a conventional relief appearance by any stretch.
Not at all. Coming in for the first time out of the bullpen ever. Warming up on the game mound, not easily done. Trying to gather your wits.
1-2 pitch. That's a swing and a miss. We should let's check out the catch by Ramon Laureano. And you know what? I think he had a beat on this one the whole way.
Well, he's been sparkling thus far out here in center field for the Oakland A's. The speed is real. Route efficiency, the throwing arm. But I think he just looks like somebody who's getting comfortable very quickly in his own skin at the big league level and out here in the outfield. I mean, we talked about Piscotty making those early adjustments after maybe some early hiccups out here in the outfield, but whether at the Coliseum or on the road, the big hats in Anaheim, Laureano getting acclimated very rapidly.
High drive to center. Maben backs up. And Nick Vincent has a quick 3-up, 3-down inning, and it is time for the 8th inning. 3-2 A's.
Your Mike the Flame fires, lighting it up all night long. Curveballs and fastballs alike. Talk about dazzling, sparkling at the top of the zone, glistening at the bottom. This man's fire was burning bright all night, Kipe.
Well, stringing together a whole bunch of good outings. So the new pitcher is Fernando Rodney. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. How's the hat tonight?
Back in its rightful spot. Just tilted ever so slightly.
Important inning here, Dallas, for a number of reasons, but it's Gordon, Haniger, Cano, if anybody gets on Seager. So if you're the Mariners, you have it set up perfectly because Gordon is leading things off.
Well, and this is where you want to be if you're Seattle. Obviously, you'd like to be in the lead, but to your point, you've got the meat and potatoes of what you've got going on coming up right now. D. Gordon, Haniger, a little double leadoff action.
Two-0 pitch, and Rodney gets the call. 2-1.
2-0 changeup, filthy. 88 darting away from the lefty.
And Gordon showed bunt, and the pitch is a strike right on the inside corner. Gordon jumped out of the way, but it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Well, that's that back whip fastball. Watch the movement here.
It's a strike.
Started inside, maybe just off the black. Bring it back in.
And now full count.
And look at the separation there. 88 miles an hour on that 2-0 changeup. That one's supposed to look a little more like a fastball. Maybe you garner some soft contact there at 81. Purely looking for swing and miss.
And there's a line drive to right field, and that's a base hit. So another changeup, and Gordon was out in front a little bit, but he just kind of flicked it to right field.
Well, in 2002, the Athletics authored the then greatest win streak in baseball history. That's right, 20 straight W's propelled the A's to the playoffs. So join us as we celebrate the return of the streak team this Saturday, August 18th against the Astros here at 105. The first 15,000 through the gate will receive a streak team shirt presented by Cache Creek Casino and Resort. Grab your 50th anniversary memory. For tickets, head to athletics.com.
So Gordon aboard with Haniger the hitter. Gordon 27 stolen bases. He's been thrown out 8 times. We know he is a premier base stealer. And there he goes. Lucroy's throw is in time. Got him.
It's a good pitch to throw on for Lucroy. He comes up hosing. Talk about putting it on the money. They'll take a look and see if D. Gordon's left hand hits the bag before Lowry's able to get that tag right on the rib cage of D. I mean, there's just really no better place to put this ball. It's a beautiful job by Jed. You watch him catch that ball as deep as possible. And I think that tag gets him right there just under the left pec before that hand actually hits the bag.
Yeah, there just isn't anything there that makes you say he was definitely safe.
It's just not enough to overturn the original out call on the field. Kite.
I don't see it.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about Javi Baez, and we all go back to that play at the WBC, making the tag on the throw from Yachty before he even needed the call. Jed Lowry, again, you let this ball travel and get deep and let the momentum of the throw take the glove into the tag. Because if Jed goes out there and tries to get that and then bring that tag back, D. Gordon is safe. So that right there, Kite, that little tag just before you see the bag come up from impact.
I think he's out.
And a baby Luke. Keep doing it.
Well, D. Gordon is back by the dugout.
This is bang bang.
Sean Barber is the second base umpire.
And I think a lot of the time, if you're just sort of paying attention to body language, and not to say that D truly knows that he was out and is just sort of parading, but I think subconsciously, you know whether or not safe or out.
I'm surprised it's taking this long.
Well, especially with the idea that, you know, the ruling on the field, if there's no clear-cut evidence to overturn it.
He's out. So the call stands. That's a huge play with D. Gordon, one of the game's fastest players, gets thrown out by Jonathan Lucroy. 20th attempted base stealer that Lucroy has thrown out. And with the guys that are coming up for the Mariners, to throw out D. Gordon, maybe the biggest play in the game.
Huge. Pivotal. And that's game-changing.
Absolutely. So now there's one out. Bases are empty. Count 0-1 to Haniger. There was some talk about how D. Gordon hadn't been stealing as many bases lately, but the reason was he's got a broken toe, and it has slowed him down some.
Tend to do that.
He still looks pretty fast, but
talk about fast. Let's go to StatCast. Dial it up. 193 on the pop time. 0.66 seconds on transfer from leather to flesh. Almost 80 miles an hour out of the squat for Luke. When you think about the footwork required and the transfer and all of that above, and you factor that into throwing a strike down there.
It had to be a perfect throw, and it was.
It was just mechanically sound all the way around.
Swing and a miss. 95 miles an hour, 2 outs.
Well, Rodney, excuse me, dialing up the cheese biscuits. Who's hungry? How about a 95 mile an hour piece? Right after the changeup away. Rodney getting comfy himself out there.
So now he'll face Robinson Cano, who's 1 for 3, and Cano takes a little bit low.
Just to touch on how important it is to have the reinforcements down in the bullpen. The Oakland A's are running out there right now. Talk about high leverage situations. See Rodney let it go.
Misses outside. Segura would be next. Pop up. Chapman hustling over, maybe. Did he catch it? He did. He caught it. The golden year for Matt Chapman continues. Watch this play.
Unbelievable.
All right, here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2-7-0 for the Mariners, 3-7-0 for the A's. James Paxton left in the very first inning, hit by a line drive. Mike Fiers was good again. 6 innings, just 2 earned runs. A leadoff home run by Marcus Semien. And we should tell you that James Paxton had X-rays and they came back negative, so that's good. The left forearm contusion, but X-rays were negative.
Good to hear. You're the Seattle Mariners.
So here's Adam Warren. He's the new pitcher. He's pitcher number 4 in the game. And the big round of applause is for Matt Chapman, who made another terrific play. This one in foul territory up against the tarp. Chappie 1, tarp nothing.
Oh. Better get familiar with each other. Take a gander here. Matt Chapman slotted closer to the shortstop spot than the hot corner. Tracking, checks his feet, checks the surrounding area. Commits. You can see him go into that slow, controlled fall, anticipating impact from the tarp. I want to talk about having a feel for your surroundings. Take a look. As soon as he starts to get close to that tarp, he chops his steps, starts to just lean into it and fall, braces himself with the throwing arm. There's nothing accidental about the way this man gets down.
1-2 pitch, slider down and away. Yeah, that's a good call by you. He's so athletic. He's thinking about the tarp right here.
Oh, he knows. He knows what he has to do.
So he's bracing himself.
That's right. Slow the steps, go into a lean, brace myself for impact.
And that one is driven left center field, and that one is off the wall. Chapman to second. He's got a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 8th.
Just let it get a little deeper, Chappie. You let it get a little deeper, you're making 3 left turns. He'll take it, doesn't matter. A little slide piece over the middle from Warren. Just hanging and mixing. You can see Maben with a heck of an effort. 3 feet to the right. And that's a homer. Chappie will take the double, no doubt. 4 doubles in the last 2 ball games for Matt Chapman.
That one's driven to center. Maben's backing up. He's going to have room, and he makes the catch, but plenty deep as Chapman can tag, and he'll go to third. So that's a very productive out for Lowry. And man, would an insurance run be huge here? They're always huge. But
how many times do we see it? Guy makes a jammable play out in the field, comes up, leads off the inning with a knock. Story as old as time.
Fernando Rodney's seen a lot in his career, and he liked that one. So see if Davis can get him home.
Must be fun to be really good at baseball. Yeah, 100 to that guy, 100 to that guy.
Trinan looks like he will get the night. A little bit outside from Adam Warren.
And the Mariners, they understand how important this run is. Defense in.
To a pitch swing and a miss. So stayed with off speed to Chris Davis.
Well, KD's a guy that you just don't want to have to come into if you don't have to.
And swing and a miss, 93. So fastball that time. Swing and miss. So went back to the fastball at 93 miles an hour. So 2 away, and now it's up to Matt Olson. Hey, Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Oakland A's in your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1.
Number 28, Matt Olson, has been awarded.
Olson's intentionally walked, and
going to first base.
the Mariners are going to face Chad Pinder.
Left fielder, number 18.
Intentional walk. How about this? Records when leading after 8 innings. Mariners are 60-0. A's are 58-0. Only 2 teams in the majors who have not lost this season when leading after 8 innings. What a great note.
Talk about teams being able to nail it down. Ocasio and Diaz on the back end for the Seattle Mariners.
So 0-1 to Chad Pinder. Just missed outside.
See Warren working that tidy little slider away, 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 not giving in.
Rolled up the middle. Segura flips to second, and he had to go a long ways, and he made the play, and the A's strand a pair. So 9th inning, Trinan's coming in to try to save it.
Drive of the game. Jed Lowry right smack dab in the middle of it all. The big 2-run bomb. Mr. Milestone himself as of late. 100th career long ball after collecting his 1000th career hit down in Anaheim.
And a career high in RBIs.
Gotta love it.
It's been a good 72 hours for Jed Lowry.
Have a go.
So, trying first pitch to Segura in first strike.
Simply trying and having a dynamite year. All those numbers. Translation, pure dominance.
I would say, yeah. Down the right field line, and it is good, a drop foul. Count 1-2. So it's 0-2 to Segura. He'll be followed by Cruz and Span. If anybody were to get on, it would be Seager. So Trinan looking for save number 32. Pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out 98 miles an hour.
And that's just a big old country fastball from the B train. Four-seamer. None of that sinker action, no messing around. Come and get it. And that's firm for you. That's 98 down Broadway. Your best, my best. Here we go. 1-0, Blake Trinan.
And here's Cruz. This was the matchup that ended the game last night. Trinan struck him out. 14 one-run saves for Blake Trinan, second most in the majors.
That's a big deal.
Diaz is the most. So two of the best closers in all of baseball you're seeing in this series. Tapped out in front. Trinan steps and throws, 2 away.
Now batting.
So the A's right on the heels of the Houston Astros. As Denard Span steps up, final hope for the Mariners. Span has a double tonight. First pitch, that slider down and in. Span chased it and he rolls it foul. Pitch, line drive, right center field, a base hit. So Span keeps the Mariners' hopes alive, and that gets Seager in at bat.
It's a ball down. Denard Span, lefty, low ball hitter in his own right. Back with that four-seamer. You see they wanted this four-seamer down and away. Never quite gets there.
So up steps Seager, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Seager with 19 home runs, 64 runs batted in, full shift on. First pitch, loop to left, and that's a base hit. So Seager not trying to do too much, just kind of went with that pitch that was working its way away from him, and now the tying run is at second base.
Well, and I'm not one to try to put the mojo out there, but I was thinking with Seager, you've got to be careful. Lefty, sinker baller on the mound, and Trinan. You don't want to just lay something in there to give him an opportunity to do what he did with it. Just sort of soft serve out to left. You figure early on Seager might be aggressive looking to do damage.
Got to give Seager some credit there. I mean, it'd be hard not to think about, hey, we had a 2-run homer here. We have the lead, but he stayed back. So here's Mike Zunino, a double, a strikeout, and a ground out to third. Span has pretty good speed. First pitch, hit up the middle. Right there, Lowry. Ball game. Trying and saves it for Fires. And ladies and gentlemen, the Oakland A's are 1 game back of the Houston Astros in the American League West. 1 game back. So time of game tonight was 2 hours and 28 minutes. It was played in front of 17,419 and another 1-run victory for the Athletics. And tomorrow afternoon, they will go for the 3-game sweep of the Seattle Mariners. Final score tonight from the Coliseum: the Athletics 3, the Mariners 2. Time now for A's post-game live. Let's head back to the studio.